Why do people get ghosted?
Why do people get ghosted?
Especially you. Why do you keep
Why do
getting
I get
ghosted?
ghosted? My biggest theory with this, and I think that, and this is kind of me trying to figure out a way where I'm not blaming myself for it at all. So, rationale in my head is I'm an extremely open communicator, and that's a pretty rare thing. So, I think when somebody isn't used to that, like isn't used to someone just telling them exactly how they feel, they can be kind of off put like that, and it scares them.
That makes sense.
That's kind of what I think, because I think like I don't know, like if you tell someone exactly how you feel, now they kind of feel not an obligation, but some way for them to tell you exactly how they feel, and vice
Mm.
versa. And a lot of people aren't ready for that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
there's no
So,
games.
but like that's the thing is, it's like I don't want to play games. I kind of did that thing. I had the hoe phase. I did all that. I
You
played
did
the
the
little,
lying.
yeah, I did the manipulative lying get women thing, and it's cool, but like I just want to be really authentically myself, and if she doesn't want me for me, cool, I'll just move on. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
when meant to be, that's chill, instead of like lying to be some version that I think appeals more to her, you know?
Yeah. So you're getting ghosted because you're not being fake.
I think so.
Yeah.
That's my like guess.
I've had that feeling a lot too in the
Yeah.
past. It's like I'm the one who's like
Let's go
honestly
do
like
the thing. Like let's hang out.
yeah.
Let's, you know what I'm saying? Like trying to lead stuff. And I feel
Well,
like
not exactly that for me. Just
word.
being like I think being vulnerable definitely scares people too.
Yeah. I mean, and there's the other side of that too. It's like you don't want to be like too vulnerable with somebody
Right.
where it's like the, you know, the we get back from the fucking party, we're in the dorm or
Like I
whatever, and
love
she's
you.
telling me her entire life's trauma, and I'm like,
Mm,
I'm just trying to fuck. Like that
yeah.
was the
Read
point of
the
this for
room.
me. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe
But
some girls are like just thinking about it as that. They're just trying to fuck and you're like, "Ah,
and some girls don't want nice guys.
true."
Like they want to be treated a little bit like shit because in the past that's what they're comfortable with. So like that's another thing, is it's like they've been abused in
Yeah.
their past. So when they have somebody that actually treats them really nice and kind and just like treats them exactly the way they deserve to be treated,
They get
that
the
can
ick.
trigger them,
Yeah, it's
because now they're
weird.
like, "Oh shit, anytime anybody's treated me like this in my life, they've left, or like
Mm,
they've fucked me over somehow." So they're like, I'm gonna leave before I can get hurt. Is
right.
like the rationale for that, you know?
But the people who abuse them always stay.
Not maybe, maybe because they're afraid to lose them too.
Right.
That's an interesting point.
I
Yeah,
think like daddy issues plays into that as well.
big, big. Oh, there's a lot of women that have fathers that aren't aren't up to it.
And men. Plenty.
Yeah, yeah, no cap. Like there's, and it's sad to see. I think fatherhood has been a thing that's been really neglected in society and hasn't been as big of a priority that it needs to be.
It needs to be
Because
so huge.
men like it kind of feels like your job, go make money and fuck a woman, get her pregnant, and make enough money for
Sure.
that kid to like live.
I think recently just like parental responsibility in general has
Yeah.
taken a hit because as the gender norms have changed, it's like both people are expected to work now. You can't get by
Mhm.
on one income.
Yeah, no, you really
I
can't.
think the gender stereotypes of like, okay, women are in the house taking care of the kids. Not great to be like that's the way it is, but like it keeps someone taking care of the
Care of
kids.
the children. And yeah, it's
It's
not
like
this.
it's no one's responsibility now.
Yeah,
And it's
and
not
that leaves these kids raised by iPads and GTA, and that is fucked.
yeah,
Like for these kids to be able to like grow up and be really confident in themselves and what they're doing, they need to feel extremely loved as a kid. As if, and
right. By
the
people
yeah, and the biggest form of love is time, because that's the most valuable
or
thing.
drugs.
Is
Sex,
time.
money,
So
drugs.
like hanging out with those kids and making them feel really loved will help them love themselves later on in life, because that idea has been reinforced to them.
Right.
They don't feel
Yeah.
neglected. They don't
Right.
feel like they're not worth what like achieving whatever they want to achieve,
Right.
you know?
Right. That self-worth is definitely stems from your parents. It's crazy.
Oh, in every way. Like everybody's just a product of their environment. And I
Mhm.
think that's what the biggest problem is in our society is like the environment's fucked.
Mhm.
Like the environment these kids grow up in needs to just be a more wholesome and loving and judgment-free environment. Because if these kids are just trying to like figure out life, of course they're gonna do stupid shit. But you
Yeah.
can't like judge them for that
Yeah.
and like dislike them for that. And I think one of the biggest problems I see is like parents will have kids before the parents even know enough about each other to know if they love each other or not. So if you have a kid with somebody and you don't love that person and you feel trapped by them, you'll resent them whether or not you want to or not.
You
So
resent
because of
that
that,
kid.
you'll resent the aspects of her you see in the child. Yeah. And
Oh,
you'll love the aspects of yourself, but then when she comes out in the kid, you're like, oh, like what the fuck? Like, and that's fucked up because you
that's
can't resent
really
your kid.
mean.
That's fucking,
Yeah.
and it happens every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That shit's really sad to watch, dude. Like, I hate seeing other kids, like, growing up and the situation's just, like, clearly unhealthy.
Yeah, bro.
It's
Like
because it's like, what can you do? You can't just tell
you
the
can't it because it's their responsibility and it feels out of line to be a backseat parent, but it's
right.
like, and like it's that one example when we were I don't think that you weren't there for this session, but there was a studio session where this guy came in and he brought his kid and his baby mother with him, and the kid's like in like a little, the kid holder things, and they just start smoking like blowing. I'm like, oh my god, like this kid is right here. And then the kid like gets out and like starts walking towards the mom and like trying to get her weed from her, and she was like, oh, ha ha ha, she's a weed baby, she loves weed. Like I smoked the whole time I was in the pregnancy with her. And I'm sitting there like, oh my god, this kid is fucked. This kid is absolutely fucked because of
Oh,
your negligence as a parent. That kid will not succeed. That kid's frontal lobe has been cooked since it was born. That kid doesn't even have a fucking chance.
yeah.
Like it's fucked up.
Yeah.
Like it's one thing to like maybe like be a bad parent once they're out of the womb, but like before they even can decide or have any
Yeah.
even thought of like trying to become the person that they can,
Yeah.
like it's just so messed up.
It's bad. That shit's really sad, bro.
Yeah.
And I know some kids in high school that looking back,
Their parents like abused drugs while they were.
I know it. And
Yeah.
like I never really understood like why you acting like that.
Exactly. And then it's like, but that's the biggest part of like trying to like forgive those people, because someone who's acting like that might do something to you and hurt you personally. But you have to realize that it is not their fault
They don't
for
know where
acting
they
there. They don't
are.
know. They don't know what they're doing. Their
Yeah.
mom was fucking rolling up fucking eights and 3 5s
In
and
our
fucking
studio. In our
blowing
studio.
in this kid's face, bro. It's just,
That's terrible.
yeah, I felt really weird after that for about a
Yeah.
week. I didn't know what, because I was like, I can't like just tell this person.
No
There
smoking.
was
Yeah.
another thing too. Like they had left too. It was like, oh, I'll come back for the session, pay for it. He was terrible, really bad artist, never paid. Like got, like, I'm
Hmm.
never gonna work with that person ever again. But like, oh my god, it was
Oh.
just so sad. I was like,
We
this
might
is your
have to
dad.
make this, yeah.
This person's your father. Like that's terrible.